How's it going, gamers? Welcome back to GVN, and in this video we'll be talking about the new Legend of Korra game that was announced by Platinum Games a couple of days ago. Now we got our first real look in terms of gameplay of the game at San Diego Comic-Con, not today but these couple of past days, and I just wanted to discuss my thoughts on what we got to see. So first off, Platinum Games. They're well known for the games such as Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2 is coming out for the Wii U, they also did Metal Gear Rising or Revengeance, and now they're doing Legend of Korra. The Legend of Korra video game will be a downloadable title for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, and I believe PC, but the game looks actually pretty good for a licensed game, and it should be good coming from a developer like Platinum Games. In terms of the gameplay we saw so far, we can see that it's going to be a lot like Metal Gear Rising in a sense, where you're controlling Korra, and you basically take out different types of enemies like Triads from Republic City or Equalists fighting for Amon. Now this takes place, I believe, between Season 2 and Season 3 of The Legend of Korra, so it takes place in that particular gap. It also mentions the fact that Korra loses her powers, and the game is basically her progress of getting her powers back one by one. And in this sense, you're basically unlocking new powers between earthbending, airbending, firebending, and waterbending. Now, as someone who played the original Avatar: The Last Airbender game back in, I think, like 05 or 06, this game looks way more promising. The Last Airbender game sucked, and it was actually based on the cartoon series, not the movie that should not be named. Now, so far I'm liking what I see with this gameplay, but I do have my own gripes with the game. It's definitely a lot better than what we played a couple of years ago in Avatar games, but I have my little tidbits here and there. From what we see, there's going to be isolated sections where you run into a room or an area, and you're isolated and you got to fight an enemy or two, and it keeps going and going and going like that. It seems rather repetitive, but who knows, maybe it's just a section of the game we saw. But at least the section where we see Korra fighting just straight on with different Equalists and Triads, it looked kind of repetitive to me. It looked like it was sort of like a mountain of enemies. You would go into one section of a room, fight a couple of enemies, go up some stairs, another section, and then eventually you get the the boss, which is in this case the Triads. In terms of the combat, you can switch between the four elements, string different combos, and it looks really badass. And in terms of that, I'm just loving that system. It looks amazing, and it's everything I really wanted in a Legend of Korra / Avatar game. Now, we can also see there's going to be different types of levels in this game. It's not just Korra fighting enemies here and there. There's a section sort of like, I guess, Temple Run, where you're riding Naga, and you're basically in the Republic City, and you have to dodge enemies, cars, different obstacles, and just keep going to the end. Think of basically the sections of Sonic Generations or Sonic Unleashed, when you're running really fast in Sonic and you have to push L1 or R1 to dodge enemies. Sort of like that, or I guess like Temple Run. There's also a scene where we see Korra fighting a giant mech boss, which is essentially the giant mechs we saw in the series, which I think was in Season 2 of Legend of Korra, or Season 1, I can't remember. But that looked kind of cool. It's a giant boss, you can take it down with all types of different bendings, and it looks awesome. The actual art style of the game looks very reminiscent, I guess, of not really Borderlands, but it has that cel-shading around the characters and objects, and that looks really nice. It's just that repetitive feature I'm a little bit worried about. I hope we don't get that much repetition in this game, especially since Platinum Games said the entire story to beat it once will only take about 3 to 4 hours. It's a small downloadable title, but you're meant to replay it over and over again as to unlock more powers and play in different ways with new types of powers when you go back to New Game Plus or a new playthrough. I'll definitely be picking up this game, at least on PlayStation 4, but I'm curious if you guys will be getting it or what your thoughts are on what we've seen so far from San Diego Comic-Con. So please be sure to start a discussion in the comment section below, and if you like the idea of this new Legend of Korra game or just the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, gamers, thank you all very much for watching the video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Unless Nick delays episodes of GVN and then decides to move us to a digital distribution in the middle of a season. God damn you, Nick. Welcome to this little demo preview of Super Smash Bros. Flash 2. Now this is a game demo that came out just a couple of days ago. It's the newest update for this little Flash game, but it's gotten a ton of fandom for it. And most recently this update adds a couple of new characters like Chibi Robot and Jigglypuff.